Hi, welcome to another episode of Volt Drive. You might not be familiar with a little-known Chinese car brand called Build Your Dreams, or BYD. But here's the thing, they sell more electric vehicles than Tesla. From battery maker to the biggest electric vehicle manufacturer in China, BYD is inching closer to unseating Tesla as the largest EV maker in the world. Chances are, you've seen one, maybe even rode in one of its vehicles without knowing it. Their electric shuttle buses, public transport buses, trucks, and taxis are cruising through cities across the globe. Their influence is spreading quickly in Latin America and Southeast Asia, reshaping transportation in those regions. Here in Australia, where I live, you see them everywhere. Back in China, they are the #1 EV maker, and now they're eyeing substantial growth in Europe. Interestingly, they have a factory in the US, and in 2008, Warren Buffett chose to invest in BYD instead of Tesla. For as little as $10,000, you can own an electric car from BYD, which is compelling for a lot of people. But what is the story behind this company? Are BYD cars actually good? And how did they grow to have such a massive global presence? To help make sense of it all, I interviewed Elliot Richards, a China correspondent with intimate knowledge of the EV landscape. I'll include snippets from our conversation throughout this episode. You are watching Volt Drive. The growing popularity of electric vehicles has created an opportunity for automakers globally. The EVs are simpler machines, fewer moving parts, less complexity. This makes the playing field fresh, especially compared to traditional combustion vehicles. Tesla was far and away the biggest player in the space. Rivian, Lucid, and NIO were also making names for themselves. But suddenly, in late 2023, BYD knocked Tesla off the top spot. BYD likes to promote itself as the biggest car brand you've never heard of. And it's true, at least in the context of sales figures. BYD recently overtook Tesla as the global leader in EV sales. Tesla delivered 484,000 vehicles in the last quarter of 2023, an 11% increase from the previous quarter. But it wasn't enough. BYD swooped in with 526,000 vehicles sold during the same period. In China, BYD holds an impressive 35% market share, with its three most popular models being the Yuan Plus, the Seagull, and the Dolphin. Despite the unusual names, these cars are proving to be a force to be reckoned with. Elliot Richards. BYD has been building cars for 20 years. The last 18 years weren't very good, but the last 3 years show a focus on things people actually care about: efficiency, safety, and the basics, instead of gimmicks. These three models cater to different segments, from sedans and hatchbacks to SUVs. While Tesla's Model Y is the 5th best-selling EV in China, it stands alone as the sole American representative in the top ranks. BYD's EVs are not just popular in China. In Israel and Thailand, they lead EV sales. Their electric taxis roam the streets of Bangkok, and Indonesia's largest taxi operator plans to buy 80% of its EVs from BYD. The company is also expanding into Mexico, Brazil, and other Latin American countries, as well as the Middle East. In Europe, BYD aims to start producing electric cars by 2025, scouting locations in France, Spain, and Germany. For Americans wondering why BYD is not on the streets in the US, it's mostly political. Passenger EVs face trade restrictions, and the Inflation Reduction Act favors US-based manufacturing. Meeting this criterion would increase costs for BYD since much of their refinement is in China. Still, BYD has a U.S. presence: trucks, buses, forklifts, garbage trucks, distribution vehicles, and even a 60-ton mining dump truck. Their California factory spans 550,000 square feet and employs over 750 workers. They've scaled so fast overseas that they're building their own shipping fleet, including a roll-on, roll-off ship capable of transporting 7,000 cars, with 7 more planned. BYD's influence may seem invisible to some, but make no mistake, this is a global giant in motion. BYD started as a battery-making company in 1995, founded by Wang Chuanfu, a former researcher and assistant professor at Beijing Technical University. Their vision: revolutionize battery production in China. Shenzhen, often called China's Silicon Valley, became their headquarters. Initially, BYD made rechargeable batteries for phones, later expanding to laptops and electronics, supplying brands like Motorola, Nokia, and Samsung. By 2002, BYD was the world's second-largest producer of rechargeable batteries, with 25% market share, and went public on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. In 2003, Wang purchased a struggling automaker. Qinchuan, shocking investors. Shares dropped. But Wang's strategy was clear: reverse engineer premium cars and offer them at affordable prices. By 2006, amid a booming Chinese economy, BYD's domestic car sales skyrocketed, though they were mostly gasoline vehicles at the time. The next step was electric vehicles, a shift that would define the company's future. In 2008, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway purchased 10% of BYD's shares in Hong Kong. Charlie Munger, Berkshire's vice chairman, famously told Buffett, "This guy runs it better than Thomas Edison." Buffett's initial investment of $232 million grew to $7.4 billion by 2021, a staggering 3,000% gain, highlighting both BYD's growth and Wang's vision. By January 2024, BYD had a market capitalization of $74.8 billion, making it the 207th most valuable company globally. BYD's meteoric rise was fueled in part by Chinese government support. Generous tax breaks, incentives, and exemptions for EV makers and buyers created fertile ground for growth. Electric vehicle company tax rates were slashed from 25% to 15%, and license plate restrictions for EVs were removed. Wang's timing was perfect. He had battery expertise, car manufacturing experience, and a government willing to support the shift to electric. But BYD's success isn't just luck. The Blade battery, a cobalt-free, safer alternative to lithium-ion batteries, is a genuine innovation. BYD sells these batteries to other automakers, reportedly including Tesla, and maintains control over most of its supply chain, from batteries and motors to chips and software. Their vertical integration allowed them to bypass the global chip shortage that disrupted competitors. BYD can innovate faster, reduce costs, and maintain quality. Price is another factor in BYD's success. The Tesla Model 3 starts at around $35,000, offering 272 miles of range. BYD's Seagull starts at $10,000, with battery options for 190 or 251 miles. Affordable, reliable, and well-featured, BYD dominates price-sensitive markets like China, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. Elliott Richards. BYD's Seagull is a culmination of their expertise. Battery engineering, design, and quality have come a long way. These cars now compete with vehicles like the Ford Fiesta or Chevy Bolt. Even BYD's flagship sedan, the Seal, is considered a genuine competitor to Tesla's Model 3. It's quick, quiet, stylish, comfortable, and well-priced. Though some criticism exists regarding touchscreen reliance and warranty clarity. Despite remarkable growth, BYD faces hurdles, supply compliance issues, like a Me 2022 pause in Australia due to child seat regulations. Warren Buffett reducing his stake by 60% in 2022 ongoing EU anti-dumping investigations into whether Chinese EVs receive unfair subsidies. The road ahead isn't without bumps, but BYD has shown resilience time and again. Looking forward, BYD is positioned to redefine the EV landscape. Vertical integration keeps costs low and innovation. Rapid global expansion secures emerging markets. Battery and chip expertise gives them a technological edge. Chinese companies, particularly trailblazers like BYD, are outpacing Western competitors, reshaping the global auto industry. By 2030, estimates suggest 300 million electric vehicles on the road. BYD's story is more than a business tale. It's a glimpse into the future of transportation, technology, and global power. The question isn't whether BYD can compete with Tesla. It's how the world will adapt to this new reality. So, what's your opinion? Would you ever consider buying a BYD? Are you wary of Chinese cars, or does that not matter? Share your thoughts in the comments. You've been watching Volt Drive, New Thinking.